Hello, techies. We're making this. So let's get into it. We're going to open up our Cinema 4D. You should find this in your Tech Club folder. I've cleaned up my desktop just so you can see this picture. And from this picture, we are going to create this. This is what I just showed you. You can render it. It's got a lot going on. You start seeing some glow. You see some reflection. You see some mirrored images. You can even see the ceiling of this room that we have made. Do note that we're not creating an atmosphere with lighting in it, but that the object that we have is going to glow itself. It's an impressive piece, but you're going to find it to be a lot easier than last year's environmental project. This is environmental 2, part 2, spheres making. Hopefully, knock on some wood somewhere, we can come back later at a later time, if we have later time, and add some camera features into it. But don't definitely make that a statement yet. But we're going to go ahead and start a new one. So you know this is the great nothing. We know that there's nothing here. We can render it. There's nothing here. But we're going to really need these 3 buttons up here. This is the back and forth. The up and down and left and right. This is the back and forth, and this is the turnabout. So let's look at the turnabout. So when I look at the turnabout, I can move the camera or the angle of my view very circular right in here. It's curvature in its view. But I'll always know which way is up and down based on this green and this blue, this green and this red and this blue arrows that we have here. And we've got the up and down, so we can go away and close, like really, really close to our item. And then we can go up, we can go down, we can go left, and we can go right. So I'm going to try to put this as center as possible. I've probably messed up the whole thing, or we can certainly go to a new and just try it again. So this is the nothing until we put a something. So let's look at this cube right here. Now last year for Cassie Techies, they worked with cubes. There's this little black triangle below the icon, and you're going to hold that down and you're going to see a sphere. So let's put a sphere in. Maybe last year or earlier this year you were kind of clicking around. You might have found the figure or something else you wanted to look at, and that's okay. So this is our sphere. We're going to make our sphere editable. We're going to go to we're going to go to options. Options or display. Oh, okay. So display lines. I've got no idea how to say that. Garage shading lines. So we're going to go to lines, and we're going to change this. We don't want 24. We need lots of lines. We need something like 50. And did you notice it kind of made a whole bunch? Then we're going to look at these side tools. Now, you've not had to use these side tools before, but what we're wanting to do is we're going to be dividing the sphere into multiple parts. So I'm going to click on this one right here because I want whole pieces. I don't want to deal with the lines in the middle. I don't want to do with the points in the middle. I want to do with the faces. We're going to make sure that we click on sphere, and we're going to make it editable. We want to work on it. So when you click editable, it turns blue. And then you can actually see where when you mouse over some of these pieces, you end up with these little red squares everywhere. We're going to make sure that we're on faces. We don't want lines. We don't want to work on dots. We want to work on faces. If you work on lines, guess what's going to highlight? Just the lines. In fact, when I zoom in just a little bit, I can get really big. You see how when I'm working on lines, when I got the lines, it's just the line itself, like literally just the line. You could actually pull this line out. Like if you were making a Frosty the Snowman, you want him to have a nose or something. If I click on this one, you're going to see all these little dots. And when I mouse over them, little dots is what glows instead. So we don't want that. We want faces. We want actual squares in between each of these lines. That's what we want to see. So notice that I have not done anything with my sphere yet, but I'm fixing to. So I'm going to be looking up here at this little turn, and I'm going to turn and adjust and move around until I can see the top of my circle, okay? So I'm going to click on select, and I'm going to click on ring selection. See how I can make it look like a disco ball now. And I'm going to click right here at this top one. I'm going to hold my shift key down, and I'm going to choose that one. And I'm going to choose the next four. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Back that up a little bit. And now I'm going to flip around to the bottom of the sphere, using my knobs up here to adjust. And be very careful, move slowly. And I'm going to select the same amount by holding my shift key. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to look at it because every sphere can be different. Maybe I want a fifth one. If I decide that I want a fifth one or even a sixth one, hold my shift key down. But whatever you do on the top, come right down here on the bottom and do the same on the bottom. So you've got that and that. Okay? All right. That's not all, though. I'm going to skip about 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to come right here. I'm going to hold my control key down. And I'm going to select that one. I mean, not control key, shift key. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just making sure that it's even. And it may be that I want to click another one here and take this one off. Click that one off and add that one. It's your sphere. It's your sphere. You can make it any way you like. And that's the sphere that I have made. All right. So we're going to create a new material. Okay, so we're going to create a new material. I want this material to be black. Black. I want it to have a reflection, but I don't want it to be a mirror. I just want a little bit of a reflection. Maybe like a 15. I want it shiny, glossy. I want it glossy. Let's go back to color. We're going to add a texture. We're going to make it frenzel. just like that. That looks nice. Yeah, let's do that. What a Frenzel does is just kind of adds that shine. So it's not so much of a reflection, but a high polish shine. Just like somebody really dug down deep with some very special cleaner and made that thing just where you can see your reflection. It looks like a brand new billiard ball. Just really shine. And we're going to go ahead and X this out. Okay, I'm going to X that out. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to my ball right here on the gold part. So I'm going to add it, click, right there on the gold part. Okay. So I'm going to go to select and I'm going to invert. So do we all know what invert means? It's going to grab the opposite of. And this part, we are going to make the glow. So we're going to grab a new material. You should know or reflect back to the environment video that we did last year. And we're going to make this very luminous. Let's go ahead and pick a color. Let us pick blue. I don't know what purple's my favorite color, but it just seems like when I go to picking a color, I tend to pick blue. I don't know. Maybe blue's my secret favorite color and I don't know it. So, of course, you're going to check luminous. And since my ball is going to be blue, I want the light that it gives to also be blue. And we're going to bounce that up, not 100% brightness, but maybe 300% brightness, and it's going to really be bright. Okay, so we're going to take that and we're going to add it to our gold color. And just to test it out, that's what it looks like. Yay, we're all done. Well, of course, we're not all done. There's some things that we're going to be working on before we say we're done. But let's back it up a little bit. Let's give ourselves a floor. I did that by clicking right here where it says floor, add floor object. But we're actually going to add 2 more floors. So just click it again, click, and one more time, click. So over here on your layers, you can see floor 2, floor 1, and floor. So we're already highlighted on floor 2, and we're going to come over here to this move tool, and I've clicked on it, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to bump it over the sphere, just like that. I'm going to take floor 1 and I'm going to come to this rotate tool and I'm going to be very careful about rotating it at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to turn it on its side upright as best as I can, at 90 if I can. Just like that, that's perfect. And then I'm going to push it back. Just like that. Nice. It's looking good. And then I'm going to take this floor and I'm going to lower myself just a little bit. And I'm going to lower the floor with my green arrow until I am sitting below the sphere. Now, I don't want my sphere to be floating, so I'm going to turn my camera so I'm looking below the floor, and then I'm going to zoom right on in to that, and I'm going to lower my floor until I see no sphere. Just like that. Now, I had to get super close to my sphere to do that. You can do that too. Just get really close to your sphere. All right, let's click back on the sphere because I want to make some copies. All right, so Control C copies the sphere. Control V again, Control V another time, and look how many spheres I have made. I have made 4. So I'm going to, I'm going to make sure that I click just anywhere here to make sure that I'm not looking at my sphere. And I'm going to click on my sphere, and I want to move my sphere as a whole. So as a model, as the object. So make sure you've clicked over here. That way we're not just moving a face, we're not just moving lines, we're not just moving dots, we're moving the whole sphere. And I'm gonna move one sphere over here. And then I'm gonna come over here and click on the next one. And I'm gonna move one sphere over here. And then one sphere over here and maybe up some, so that I've got kind of a personality going on right here. I can see some stuff. It's like this. All right. So when I click on it, this is what I have. It's not exactly what I want. They look very uniform, and they kind of look robotic almost in a sort of way. So let's make some more colors. So I'm going to click on my matte 1 with my glow, and I'm going to make sure that is highlighted, and Control V again. Control V another time, and look how many blue patterns or blue colors I have. They're all the same. And I'm going to choose one, and we can make it another color. I'm going to make this one pink. But remember, you have to change the color too, not just the light. You have to change the color and the light, both the color and the light. All right, let's pick the next copied color, and I'm going to be on color, and I'm going to choose green this time. Green has a tendency to light up looking a lot like yellow, so I'm going to make this one dark green. You can make yours whatever color you desire the most. That's nice and green. So I'm done there, and we're going to make this last one, or I'm going to make my last one yellow. You make it whatever color you want yours to be. Whatever color you want it to be, that's the color you want to make. You want to make them all blue, make them all blue. You want to make them all pink, make them all pink. You want them all red, make them all red. You want them to be whatever. All right, so we're going to leave sphere, this bottom, this main sphere, we're going to leave it blue, but I'm going to pick sphere 1, and I'm going to just pick one of my colors, and I'm going to drop it right smack on top of the blue, and it's going to change pink. And I'm going to click on sphere 2, and I'm going to grab my next color, and I'm going to drop it right there on top of that blue, and it's going to turn green. And I'm going to click on this sphere 3, and I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow. Just drop it right there on top of it. Let's check it out. Looking special, but we're not done. So I do want to add a little bit of reflection. Do you see how this black portion on the spheres, I see the pink, I see the green, I see the blue. I'm seeing some reflection happening. And you know what? I'm not all that. I want to see more pink in that. So I'm going to pull this up just a little bit and pull it over. And let's look at it. Check out your reflection. It may be that I need to move the yellow up some. Let's pick on the yellow. It's your picture. Make it how you want it to be. It doesn't have to be perfect like mine. Well, I'm not even saying mine's perfect. You can make yours any way you want. Make it any way that makes you happy. I can see a little bit more pink. Okay, good. So, great. Let's make color for our walls and our ceilings. I'm going to add another color material. And I don't want it to be black. I kind of just want it to be this shadow gray kind of color. Like as if there's nothing there. It's behind the scenes. It's not important. I definitely don't want to put any luminance on it. We're going to put some reflection on it though, but I don't want it to be a mirror. I know that I made my ball at 15%. I don't want 15%. Maybe 5%, maybe 3%. Let's do it 3%. If I don't like it, we change it. Remember, there's nothing that you can't change. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag my mat that I just made onto my floor, onto my wall, onto my ceiling. Let's test it out. See, I've got that low grade reflection. But there's still something very, very robotic about my balls. So let's do some changing. Let's go to the edit render setting. And I'm going to add some very special effects. I'm going to do global illumination. I'm going to add glow, ambient oculation. I don't think I want to adjust a whole lot. We can check it out as we go. We're going to close that out. You're going to notice a significant difference. Things are looking much different. Do remember that when you start adding in specialties, it's going to take longer to render. And just be patient. I can already see some reflections, even though it's not rendering. I can already see this shine on our balls. I love how you can see the reflection in both the ceiling and in the floor. I don't know if it's going to be too much. We can always adjust that, but I'm loving that I'm already seeing that in our picture, because once things start smoothing out, it's going to really look amazing. You can also look down here at the bottom and you can see it's working. So even though I'm sitting here going, nothing's happening, I know that something really is happening because it's doing a counting here. Oh, here it comes. Amazing. I love that I can see that pink. That's just enough, but we are not even done. This is a good way to see the smoothing of, you know what, they really don't even look like robots anymore. They look just absolutely realistic to me. It's got that nice high shine polish on it. It's reflective. The ceiling is reflective. The floor looks so glossy. It's amazing. I don't really have, maybe I want to bring this back wall in. That's going to be entirely up to you as to what part you want to do. If the wall is okay for you, leave it. Don't worry about it. That looks really nice. But now we're going to turn and alter them a little bit so that they don't look so straight up and down. We're going to get our rotation tool, and you can rotate this any way you want. You can turn that this way. You can turn it that way. You can turn, let's look on this one. We're going to make this one turn just a little bit. Let's click on this one. It's going to be turned just a teeny bit, maybe a little over this one. I don't want them to look exactly alike. Maybe like that. And then this one, let me see, we can just have it turned. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's do that. That looks nice. All right, so let's do a quick render. This is going to take just as long as before. It was about 2 minutes before. So it's going to take about 2 minutes now. Changing the angle did not add to your effect. It just add to the visual stimulation in it, the way that it looks more realistic. It doesn't look like so robotic. It looks more natural. 4 balls are very rarely going to be positioned in the same way. It seems like maybe I can see more of the pink the way that this yellow one is angled. We'll have to see. But I am concerned about how much this blue one looks more yellow. So, and maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. We will soon see. Oh, I'm starting to see some of that blue beaming off on this yellow. It looks so amazing to me. I can see a little bit of the blue mirrored back here. We can fix a little bit of that if you wanted to, but if you were happy with this, you can certainly render it. I'm going to go and look at this floor right here. I think it's floor 1. I'm going to see what it would be if we move this closer. Now, I don't want to move this so close that I run into my spheres. So I'm going to angle this just a bit so I can see what it is that I'm looking at. Let me just change the angle here. All right. Let's get this a little close. I don't want it so close that it ruins the effect that we're making. But I am very interested in seeing more of that reflection. Adjust your camera to fit the angle that you want. You want more of a certain color ball than the other, and that's fine too. You want it far away, you want it close up. That's great. Let's check, just play with it a little bit. Actually, I don't think I want it more centered in my frame. And did you notice how I did not waste time? If I didn't like it, I stopped it. I didn't like it, I stopped it. Put that in the center. Okay, let's see. Let's try it now. Imagine if you went to play pool or billiards with balls that really glow like this. I wonder what kind of table it would take to play glow ball billiards with balls that glow. This was really not a very hard project, but it really looks like you have done something just amazing. I see that reflection on the wall. I love it. That blue off this back wall. Still loving that I can see the reflection off the ceiling. Definitely off the floor. I think I like it. So when I've decided that I like the picture that I have, you're going to come over here to Edit Render again, where you had the illumination and the glow and the ambient oculation, and you're going to click on Output. I'm sorry, not Output, but Save, and you're going to type in glow spheres. Oops. Glow spheres. And then your name. Best name ever, because, you know, it's the best name ever. You're going to go back to Output. You don't have to change the width or the height unless you just really want to. I think I do like 1200 to 800. But you definitely want to kick up that resolution. You need to kick that resolution to either over 300, no more than 500, because you're looking for that smooth contact. If you leave the resolution at 72, which is your default resolution, it's going to really look pixelated, and you'll lose a lot of your effect. Under Save, make sure it is a PNG. Make sure it's a PNG. And then we're going to click the center one. And it's going to take longer to render this one because this is like a final draft. It is the piece. And it's going to be amazing. Once again, you can look down here and you can see how much time is going to pass and how many times is it going to do this. So is it going to do it just once, 3 times, 4, whatever. It is going to take a minute. So I'm going to skip through this part of the video. You just continue to watch. When I continue to talk again, you're going to see a rendered picture or a nearly rendered picture. So you don't have to sit here and trudge through all this. Okay, so we kind of skipped to the end, sort of, where yours is probably still rendering. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about what I see. So I'm loving what I'm seeing. I see the shadows over here. I see the lights on the reflecting on the ceiling. I can even see a little bit of blue back on this back wall. I can see the pink reflection off this sphere here. So let's see what a final picture looks like. So I'm going to take this to the taskbar, take that down to the taskbar, and here it is. Glow Spheres, best name ever. Let's open it up and see. Wow, that is super amazing. That looks so awesome. Anyway, enjoy your spheres. We're going to come back to this, so you definitely want to save your project. So let's open up our regular project file. We want to save our template here. Save as, and you're going to name this Glow Spheres. I had actually already named this, but Glow Spheres template. And you can add your name. Best name ever. And you can upload it to your drive in the event that something should happen. I would definitely put it in your Tech Club folder. This is my house computer that I'm recording off of, so I'm just going to put it on the desktop. You can upload this to your Google Drive in the event that you have to move to another computer for whatever reason. Go ahead and save that, and you're done here. But we're going to come back to this. So here's the template. So you can open the template directly from here, and it will open up exactly where you left off. We're going to talk about cameras next. All right. Enjoy your glow spheres. That looks amazing.